Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. If you will, please stand with me for a prayer and pledge of allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather together tonight and just praise you and thank you for taking care of Titus County during the heavy rains and the tornadoes. We pray for our neighbors to the west of us, Lord, that received such terrible damage and loss of life. We just pray for your comfort for their families, for those that will be out having to work in all of that mess. Thank you again for protecting us, and we pray your direction in the coming days and weeks as we make the necessary repairs. Thank you for a wonderful Christmas holiday, and we look forward again to a prosperous new year for Titus County. We just turn this meeting over to you now and ask that you would preside and guide us to take care of the business at hand. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone to our last meeting of the year 2015, and today is the 28th of December 2015, and it's 6 o'clock, and we're going to begin with item number 1, public comments and or requests for information on non-agenda items in accordance with section 551.042. Anyone asked to speak, or would anyone like to speak at this time? Item number 2, consider and possibly approve the minutes from our December 14th regular meeting of the Commissioners Court 2 weeks ago.
Judge, I took a look at those, and I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
A motion by Commissioner Hinton to approve those minutes. Second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Joyce, thank you for preparing those. Item number 3, consider and possibly approve the sale of miscellaneous items in the annex storage, primarily left over from the Ratliff building remodel. I put this on there about a week ago thinking that there would be more to discuss, but after making a trip over there today and visiting with Chrissy and going through there, I'm not sure they're quite ready to get rid of the few items that are there. There's going to be 5 desks, for the most part, appear to me to be trash. Some of them are missing drawers or they're broken. Right now they're being used to store some of her stuff while she gets organized in that storage room, so I don't even have any desks yet to suggest that we do something with. She's going to continue to use those to store things on until she gets a little bit more organized over there. There is about 30 2x4 fluorescent light fixtures that we removed there in the Ratliff building and replaced with the new lighting. I don't know how much value there is there, but to get rid of those would free up some room. Besides that, there is not going to be much left. There will be some trash needs to come out of there, but virtually everything else that we went through over there, they need to maintain. So perhaps at some point in the future I can come back to you and have a list of some detailed items, but I don't at this time. The desks need to stay a while longer. If you'll give me the approval to sell those 30 2x4 light fixtures, maybe we can get a little bit of money out of them and get them out of their way while they're trying to get organized. But other than that, I don't have anything to tell you about.
Make that motion, Judge.
So, motion by Commissioner Fields, and what would you like for me to do in that motion? Just put an ad in the paper to sell some 2x4 used fixtures that may or may not need transformers or the ballasts in them?
As is.
As is. All right. Motion by Commissioner Fields. Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor of approval to sell the 30, I think there are 30 2x4 fixtures, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 4, consider and possibly approve allowing TCEQ to place an air monitoring station on county property in Precinct 4. This is at the request of EPA, apparently they're working with. We discussed this briefly at our last meeting and gave Jimmy some additional time to look into that. Jimmy, have you come to a decision on this yet?
Yes, Judge. I met with two guys from TECQ out there. They looked at the property. They have got 4 locations in our county that are in this area around the power plant out there that they can use. Ours was due west of them, and they didn't really like the location, but then after they talked back with Austin, they did come back and say that they would like to consider it if we would allow them to. What they'll do is come in and put a 40, I think it's a 20 by 40 slab, and fence it off, and then they'll put their monitoring station there. The only drawback that I see to it is it could, they're wanting a 5-year deal with it, with a possibility of renewing it for 2 more terms after that, 2 more 5-year terms. That's really the only thing that after talking to them, that I can see, that might be. And I just from talking to them, they really don't like that location. It has to be a certain distance from the power plant, and it also has to be, in the general direction of the normal airflow. And so we're out of that, but the distance is about right. They had another one at the college, and they are looking at it, but the distance is a little further than what ours is. So they never did tell me where the other 2 locations were at, but they've got 2 more locations that they were going to look at. So I wouldn't mind recommending to let them go ahead and pursue it if they want, see fit to, and that way, if they can use it, well, they can. So.
They don't pay us anything for this, right?
No, sir.
And you don't think it's going to inhibit any use of that property that you might come up with?
Possibility. If oil prices stay like they are, we might use it again. But I don't foresee at this present time needing it. And all it'll do is take up that one area right there, where that one fenced-in area, and then they'll have access to it from there. Through the gate, they will have to have access in and out of there.
Do you feel obligated to allow them to have this?
Not really. I don't. And from talking to Nick and Austin, I guess it was last Friday, me and him discussed it, and he said, whatever y'all decide will be fine. He said, I'm not pushing anything. He said, we try to get a piece of property that is, either city, county, something or other. He said that's like what we like to try to do, something that our school district or college or anything like that is what they like to try to get, because of they don't normally pay for these things. This is an EPA mandate that come out, went into effect in August. They've got to have 25 of these things built over the state in the next, and have them all operational by January of 17. So I really don't foresee that happening from what they talk to me, but possibility of it.
Do we have anything to gain by letting them have this?
No.
You don't think we would do ourselves a disservice if we said no thank you?
I don't really think so, no.
Well, I'm not sure I'm real eager to do it, but I'll leave that call up to you.
Okay. Right now, I'd say my feelings on it is I'd really like not, in fact, I'll just make it into a motion that we not at this time let them consider our.
That we not?
Yes.
Okay. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. All right. Got a motion by Commissioner Parker that we not make this piece of property available to TCEQ at this time.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's unanimous. All right. Item number 5, consider and possibly take action on the Office of Election Administrator. I don't think there's any action here to take, but I left open that possibility. The County Election Commission met a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you what we decided to do. First of all, I previously had told you about, and you were aware, that Leonard was going to be retiring. I want to read to you Leonard's resignation letter. Please accept this as my official notice to vacate the position of Elections Administrator for Titus County, Texas. It's been a very rewarding experience to serve as Elections Administrator for the past 10 years and 8 months. However, I feel my time has come to join the retired. As of December 31st, I will terminate my employment with Titus County, Texas. I would highly recommend Chrissy Riddle to serve as the new Elections Administrator. Chrissy has been working in the office for about 10 years, has the knowledge and skills to be an excellent Elections Administrator. Anyway, we, on the 21st, the Election Commission met, and we did decide to make Chrissy the new Elections Administrator. She's been with Leonard a long time, and I had previously talked to her several months ago to ask her if she would give it a try with just her and Keitra and the necessary part-time people when they were required, and she has been 100% positive and feels like she can do that. If we need more manpower down the road, we'll reevaluate it sometime. But as you recall, back at budget time, we did allow for some additional monies there for her, and let me tell you what we decided upon. Chrissy was currently, or is currently, making $12.17 per hour, an annual salary of $25,314. She was on county insurance, retirement. She did not have an auto allowance nor a phone allowance. We had budgeted and have voted to raise her up to $31,200. That's from $25,300 to $31,200. That is still shy of Leonard's current $37,903. We, of course, allowed her to continue her insurance and retirement, and we approved transferring Leonard's current auto allowance of $3,600 per year, or $300 a month, and $480 per year for phone allowance. So again, her current $25,314, raising that salary as the new Elections Administrator to $31,200. That is a 23% increase moving into that position, as well as an auto allowance of $3,600 and a $480 telephone allowance. So again, this was approved by the Election Commission on the 21st of December. And I am simply informing you, I do not think that there is any action necessary on your part. You had previously approved the adjustment that we were anticipating in this salary back when we did the budget. So if anyone has a question or would like to discuss this, I want to be sure all of your questions are answered for now. That will leave Chrissy and Keitra Brooks as the two full-time folks in that office. So going from a 3-man office down to a 2-man office and bringing in part-time help as needed. And Leonard's last day will be the 31st. If there are not any questions, I will move on. Item number 6 and 7, I just kind of threw these in to fill some space here. I know we've talked about it, but we've talked about one of them at least, but I wanted to get your thoughts on 2 items. I'm looking currently at some heating and cooling problems we're having down in the northeast corner in John Mark Coburn's office. Because we went in and we put a glass security door between John Mark's office and the rest of the office, we did do some rearranging of the airflow in there, and we're having a hard time balancing out the temperature in those 2 offices. It seems to keep too cool in John Mark's office because the thermostat is in there and it gets hot in the rest of the office. Well, that's a problem that we're dealing with Robert's air conditioning right now. But part of John Mark's problem is that you can put your hand around the windows in his office and just feel the cool air seeping through there. And the same is true on all of these windows. I don't know exactly what's causing that, but I did talk to Mr. Landy Roberts with Mount Pleasant Insulation, had him take a look at this. He did not want to make a bid on doing that insulation job. It just wasn't his line of work, but he did just kind of give me some guidance as to what he thought it would take, and he thought simply a bead of silicone around each of these windows, and there are some 130 of these windows in the courthouse. Whether it's worth the expense of hiring somebody to put a bead of silicone around them or not, I think it would be. He anticipated around $1,000 worth of material just for a silicone caulk material only, plus the labor on top of that. So that is simply a suggestion that I am throwing out there. And then the item number 7 is to consider and possibly approve cleaning the exterior of the courthouse. I have no idea how that will be done, but as you can see, there is some dirty areas around the courthouse that would need some kind of cleaning, and I'll trust that you all would give me some guidance there if you choose to do that. So let's start with item number 6, consider and possibly approve caulking the inside of the courthouse windows to improve insulation. Is there any interest on your part to move forward with this?
There's air coming in around the window and the panes, and it needs caulking.
I won't say it's a significant amount, but anything we can do to, by the time that you've sealed all 130 of these windows, it might make a little bit of difference. I think the main objective is comfort, but those two northern offices, and I don't know how it is in your old office, Carl, in the wintertime. I don't know if that was a tough room to keep heated. You all had one unit running just that corner, plus James's old office, so it
affected James' own office more. He'll burn up. I mean, it would be comfortable for us. Jolene's having that same problem too.
Yeah. Well, and while there's nobody in that office, while there is, the auditors are working in there, they're having to play with that. But once it becomes just a storeroom, I would suggest maybe we move the thermostat over into her office and control it that way. My office is not a problem. I can put my hand around those windows and feel a tiny bit of draft, but it's not causing a problem keeping that office cool. Now, in John Mark's and James's new offices downstairs, those two offices are tough to keep warm. Whether this will help, I do not know. Now, we can table this and y'all can think about it, or we can take action on it now. Up to you. Okay, in the absence of a motion, I'm going to assume that we're not interested.
I'm interested in it. I just, what we're going to do, try to just bid it out, is what you're looking at doing.
I'm wide open to suggestions. There's nobody that I know of in the county that's equipped to do that, unless maybe there is.
But any painter could knows how to caulk that stuff. Probably just an individual. I don't know. Could do it. I think it's a very complicated job.
No, it's definitely not a complicated job.
So why we don't do it? I mean, but how are we going to do it? We're not going to get one of our friends or any of that to do it, or I'd be interested in knowing what our plan would be. How would we approach it?
Yeah, I would too. Well, I'll make a motion that we do the caulking. We can get with somebody. Al may know somebody, or y'all may know somebody, and we can kind of write up a.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to stay out of that bid process. If one of y'all wants to take that on or has an idea how to work with James to get this done, I think it would be a good idea. But is it absolutely necessary? No, I don't think that it is.
Well, I think we need to do it, and I'll make a motion to do that. And what I will try to do, if y'all want me to, if you want somebody else to do it, that's fine. But I'll get with somebody and write up the specs and bring it back to the court, and y'all approve it.
Sounds good. Motion by Commissioner Fields to approve this project, at least beginning with seeking some bids on getting it done.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 7, cleaning the exterior of the courthouse. And there again, I don't really know how to get this done. I just know we've got some dirty stained areas that looks like just dirt to me, maybe more than that, I don't know. I don't know if it needs steam cleaning, I don't know if it needs a brush and soap and water, I don't know. And this may be something that you all might want to look at with your own eyes before you decide, because I don't have a plan of attack on this.
Might just need to take a look at it. I know it needs it in certain spots. Probably just need to take a look at it.
Can I table this and give
Let's
you all a
table
couple
this.
of weeks? We all take the time to kind of give it an eyeball and see what you think.
I make a motion to table this for a couple of weeks.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton. Second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor of tabling the decisions on cleaning the exterior of the courthouse, say aye.
I'd like to add that this is a yearly annual job in South Louisiana. I lived there for quite a few years, and a painter. Most painters are equipped to spray or get rid of mildew and mold because it's necessary, and caulk. The same guy could possibly be to do that. It's just everyday occurrence to those people. So
Okay.
this would need
Christie.
if you look
We're
at it.
talking about the exterior, going out the inside, versus where outside the office where it's bubbling up and it's taking off.
On the inside wall.
Yeah, let's do. What she's talking about, maybe you all have seen it, to the right of the Coke machines downstairs, you'll see where the previous water leak has bubbled that plaster or the paint or both. So take a look at that, and I'll put both of these on the agenda next time, and maybe you all will have a chance to think about some processes that might be involved in cleaning that exterior of the building. I know that getting that paint work done downstairs should not be a big deal at all. Okay, so we will table that.
Judge, that all occurred several years ago when we had leaks. We've got everything fixed now, and because of the water and the water damage, it's dried out, and that's the finished product of leaks that we had.
I haven't seen it still leaking, so
No, it's
I
not
think
leaking.
I think it's good.
They got all that fixed, but that was what caused the problem. And basically, and I agree with Val on that, on the outside, it's basically a mildew or a mold or something. If you look at the bricks down at the election administration office, look at them next time. They are really clean. They're from about 4 to 5 feet up the wall, all the way around the building, down. It was a mold and a fungus or something that was growing on that wall, and they cleaned it, and it really looks nice. The brick really is nice. They did a good job.
Well, let me tell you, they used a power washer on that,
Yes,
and getting a
but
power
this-
washer to every square inch of this building would be an expensive deal. Now, that may be what it takes, but look on there. There is something more than just mold. There is, especially under some of the windows on the east side, it appears that, maybe dirt that collects on those windows rinses down and trickles down the side of the building. So that's most of the stain as opposed to mold. Now, there may be some mold down there too, but could you spray it from down below and hope that it rinses off, or would it take some direct pressure? I don't know.
Unless that's stucco, and I really don't know a lot about it. But
Okay.
Al may be somebody he could talk down.
Will y'all
to.
please take a look at it and see what you think would be involved, and let's get together a game plan or not worry about it. Item number 8, consider and possibly approve travel and seminars. We did not have any travel and seminar requests for this meeting. So I will move on to item number 9, approve oral and written reports of county officials. You want to do this as two parts?
Well, you had, that's the way you had it on the sheet. You have two different items.
Well, I mean, the one that we brought over from the last meeting as well as this meeting.
That's the one from the last meeting, you got it as a separate.
Yeah, it's a separate,
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's right. I sure do. Okay, so this is the one from 2 weeks ago that we were not able to look at. So let's look at this alone first.
make a motion to approve written reports from
Motion by
December
Commissioner Hinton to approve our oral and written reports from 2 weeks ago that we tabled at our December 14th meeting.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
And then moving on to the current report in item number
Biggest thing you'll see here is.
10.
We have a deposit of money for taxes for November. So you're gonna see a. Collected money.
Is that $2,991,000, is that the loop?
No, that's the main account, but that's the collections from taxes for November were deposited at 14, so they showed up. If you look at the one from the time before, now there was only $878,000 in there. Now there's $2,991,000. And then another case here from next month, from December. Most of the taxes are collected in November, December. For the whole year.
In November or October?
October wasn't very much. October were
November.
collected in November. In the old days, when women paid, probably October was.
Well, I just had a lot of people told me they was going to take advantage of that 3% discount that we give, and they paid in October.
There's a lot of individuals that do that.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Fields.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor of approving the current oral and written reports, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 11, consider and possibly approve the treasurer's report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion we approve for the treasurer report.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Parker and seconded by Commissioner Hinton for approval of the treasurer's report. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Get your signatures on that. Item 12, approve budget amendments. I think we had one.
It is an emergency budget because it's additional funds, but it is it's where at the last court we talked about the city. We gave them credit for the $339,000 that they spent on the loop project as part of their $4 million that they gave to the project. So you have to budget that money in there.
Since we were expecting that cash, $339,000, and didn't receive that cash, here's where you're making the correction to adjust that budget for that anticipated additional $339,489.30 that we did not receive, but instead took in kind from the city.
Right. And it was additional money spent on the project above and beyond what we spent.
Okay.
But it has to run through the numbers. While I've got y'all, the drug court that we set up, the adult probation applied for a grant for that. They usually adult probation runs through Morris County, not Titus County, but they applied for the grant through Titus County. So that grant's going to have to run through our numbers, and we're going to have to track it for them. It's a grant where you spend the money first and then you get reimbursed. We may have to help them fund the money up front for that grant and then get the reimbursements back. So that's just to let y'all know we may have to, depending on whether Gilbert can find enough money in his budgets to pay for that up front, or if he's going to ask the county to help him pay for it. But I don't know which way that's going to work yet.
Do we pick up any additional people on insurance that weren't otherwise there?
If we do, the grant pays it, and they pay for it out of the grant. There are a couple of people that are going to be on payroll through the grant. Right now, they have insurance through either Morris County or somewhere else. So if they stay on that, it wouldn't be paid. But if it is paid by, if they do go on our insurance, then the money, the $950 will have to come out of the grant every month to pay us back the reimbursement. That's what that's what juvenile probation is going to be doing. They're going to be taking that out of their money, and that's what they would have to do if they want to do that.
When will you know if we're having to front some?
Well, she's supposed to go on payroll next week.
Yeah, well, she won't be put on our insurance the rest of this fiscal year. She's going to stay on Morris County. I talked to people about that today, and we're just at a meeting where they can make a decision whether they're going to move some money over here to front that, or they're going to have to have they need to come to court and have to report to that. It's just a matter of getting meeting together. John Kelly, the director.
They may have enough money inside their funds to fund it up front, because you have to
That
pay
would
the
be
money
their
out.
intention. If they can afford it, they will.
Yeah, I would think that's what they would do. But
How often is the grant reimbursed?
every 3 months.
Well, he said you could do it monthly. You want to do it quarterly, but I just said you could quarterly.
So,
Deal with that.
right.
when it comes up.
And they started this September 1st, so they've been funding it so far. We haven't funded it, but it does have to run through our county, so they're going to have to give us all the information of what they've paid for since September 1st, so we can put it on the books over here and report it on the reports. They've been paying it since September 1st out of monies they have over there. I don't know which ones they're paying it out of. They're paying it out of something, because they haven't sent any request in to be reimbursed yet.
Does the reimbursement check come directly to us or go
It comes
down?
to us. It comes to us because the grant's in our name.
Okay.
Item number 13, sign pay orders and approve payments. Oh, we didn't approve number 12.
Number 12.
We had just the one budget amendment for the city contribution, $339,000.
Make the motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Parker for approval. Second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 13, sign pay orders and approve payments.
Make a motion with pair of bills.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton
Second.
and second by Commissioner Parker for approval. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 14, closing comments. Probably most of this will revolve around what kind of damage our county suffered. I don't have any comments other than related to that. And I will say, I have no idea whether there might be any money available from FEMA to reimburse us for some of these repairs, but let's think positively and keep track of every dime you spend on any kind of repairs, so that if the opportunity comes up, we might quickly file a request for some funds. So be aggressive in calculating whatever expenses you deem should be related to repairs, and let's keep track of that, and I'll stay in touch and find out if there might be any money available. I wouldn't be surprised if there would be. I don't know that we're ready to seek disaster area assistance yet, but
I know around Dallas, there's 4 counties. There's 4 counties I know of in Texas.
yeah, they're absolute disaster areas. I think we fared quite well. Why don't you go over anything noteworthy? I know I asked you to put together some notes for Marcia so that she could put anything in the paper that you wanted to put. Tell us what you've been dealing with, Jimmy.
Main thing last night was the roads that were in water that were not passable. I had about 18 to 20 roads that were unpassable last night that either the fire department or the sheriff's department called me about, and either me or them went and blocked them off, barricaded them off, whatever needed to be done. We got out today, and most all of them, the water had receded enough. I had I had about 10 that had significant damage to them, and we got out today and got all but 2, 3 of those back. They're still passable, but there's quite a bit of damage to them, and so we'll be out tomorrow finishing that up, getting those back up, and we're just kind of doing the minimum repairs to everything right now until this weather clears up and dries up a little bit. But we have got everything back open and passable right now in Precinct 4.
Okay.
Same story. We've had several of them closed last night. All I ask is just everybody be patient with us. And we've run into the same thing. We're just trying to get it to where we can get it temporary in right now till we can do something better.
What have you got closed as of right now?
Right now, got mainly anything close to White Oak Creek. I've got 3445 over at Harts Creek. Right now, it's underwater, but it's going down on it. 1905, 1910, 1915. Not 1915. 1925, 35. Just got a lot of surface damage also, and ends of culverts, and the culverts that washed out last week or 2 weeks ago, they've kind of washed them out a little bit too. So
That was another deal with mine. All the roads that we had repaired from
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago are the ones that I've got damaged back on this time because they hadn't had time to set back up and really do anything with. So,
but I do have, excuse me,
go ahead.
I still have 3070. It's still closed. Can't get through it. That's that large culvert, and I've been checking on it to see what we can do with it, and we've got that figured out. So hopefully it won't be too long. We'll get that.
Okay. All right.
If weather holds.
Is there anything we can do bookkeeping-wise to maybe earmark any expenses that we approve and pay that might be tied to repair costs? I mean, I don't know what you might could do.
We've got paid money in the past.
We've gotten it in the
They
past.
just kind of tracked it.
We've tracked it and just however they,
Yeah, then you have to turn in, make copies of the invoices and stuff.
Okay.
And you get to keep track of your hours on your.
Right.
And all that.
But the one thing about it, though, they've got to notice this as a disaster area,
Right,
too.
they gotta,
That's the key thing right there.
we need to talk to the state
Yeah.
people and get us recognized as a disaster area.
Yeah, Chief McRae mentioned this to me today, and so, yeah, he and I will see if we might qualify for any of that and when it might be available. Mike, what you...
Well, I had quite a bit of damage, a lot of places, but on County Road 2715, little creek we call Jake's Creek out there was underwater, about 2 feet of water over it. Power lines were down and a tree across the road, and you could see all that, but you couldn't get to it. My rule is we don't go anywhere till the power company tells us the power lines are safe to be in there. And I think we all do that because it's so deadly when you have a live wire and you get close to it. It would be bad. We were able, the water went down. Wood County was there first thing this morning, and they got the power back on. All the people, we had about 25 residents out there without electricity, and they got that hooked back up, and we opened the road about 11 o'clock this morning. Then County Road 2710 going to the peninsula, we had a large culvert down there blow out, and it's complete. We've had closed it down. We're hoping if we can get the material and get what we need about next Wednesday or Thursday, we can open that road back up. There is another way in there, so that's a blessing there. County Road 1150, that's up north. We had a blowout up there, and it's probably going to take us about 3 weeks to get that road open. It's going to take us, we got to get some material, and we've got to order some stuff to put back in. And I'm going to say 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll have it open back up. Had probably 25 to 30 of the roads, all of the northern part, and then in Harts Creek, Leslie Sanders is underwater. We've got several roads we have not seen yet. We don't know what's there and what's not there. Let me tell you, it scared me last night. The Sheriff's Department called about 11 o'clock and said, hey, there's a sinkhole. The guy called. We get up and we go up there. We've been working most of the afternoon. We go up there, and the road's gone. There's nothing there. And it scared me because water was over that at one time. Had somebody tried to cross that and went up there, the vehicle would have flipped, and it possibly could have been bad. We've been really blessed that we hadn't had anybody hurt bad or killed in an accident. I'm telling you, it just amazes me that somebody didn't try to cross that thing. And of course, you can't see. You don't know if that culvert's there or not. And that's what makes it so dangerous. But right now, we do have some damages on roads, but it's not bad. It's passable. We've got the logs and stuff off the road, and the people can get by. We just need some dry weather and a little time where we can get some topping put back on them. But it's just going to take time. We got damage nearly every place the waters went over. It's pulled up the topping or it's washed out the edge of it. But I only had 2. They were hit really hard last time, and I was hit hard. I think we had 11 inches. I think Phillip said had anywhere from 9 to 17 inches in spot. That's a lot of water. And he told me a while ago that he always wanted lakefront property, and now he's got it. So, but anyway, we're very blessed. I'm telling you, it could have been a lot worse. Tornadoes, we had them on each side of us, and we wasn't sure which way it was coming. A lot of people were calling us, trying to figure out what's going on, what roads open. FM 127 was across the road in 4 places. It's been a long, long time since I've seen that. You don't see that very often, that much rain. But we've had a lot of rain. Again, the people just be patient with us, and we'll try to get it fixed and put back as quick as we can.
Commissioner Riddle, how'd you fare?
Okay,
Not too bad.
1905. The only one, that's the extension of Green Hill Road. And where it goes down in the bottom, it's over the road there, and it's been over, and then like during the night, there was a lot going over the road, and like I said, everything's passable by daylight this morning, except 1905, and that's it. The thing the deterioration of the road as it goes over it, it kind of chips off on the side and it damages, and it did last spring, and we've had a lot of it this spring, and that's going to be an expense that we had last year. It's going to be greater, it looks like, this year. Extra, if I don't know how to account for it, but there is a lot of it, and I'm sure we could put it down.
Judge, I also know FEMA, they've got a price list, like if you use a backhoe, or if you use a great awl, or whatever you might use, they pay so much hour, you need to write down your hours, you need to write down your equipment that you use, so you're paid so much an hour for that. And if you buy any material to fix that, you need to, I'd make a copy of all the receipts and keep it in a folder, that way you keep it separate. That doesn't mean that they might not pay, but if you got it and they do pay, it's a big help. Last time we filed for FEMA, we got $134,000. So
Also,
it does
another
help.
thing, when you, be sure you take pictures of it, document it
Yes.
that way too. So,
You take pictures of it, that's just better shows that your damages that you got. And you, with the phones you have this day and time, you can do that.
Anything else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn when you're ready.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Fields. Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.